Hello viewers and welcome to my new video. In today's video I would like to talk to you about the difference between using your own birth name and a stage name. And the reason for this topic is really personal because when I started on this journey of making my own solo music as opposed to being in bands, I was wondering, what should I call myself? What is the best way to go about this? And initially, I started researching, if I could maybe use my first name. But let me just get to that and explain before I actually say this. So I've been using my name Bartek Piwoński, which is my real name, and it is my real surname. Bartek is actually a friendlier version of Bartosz, which is my sort of given name, given birth name, but I've always been called Bartek by all my friends and everybody who knows me. So Bartek Piwoński is my actual name. Now, I was actually trying to see if I could use just my first name, Bartek, without my surname, but when I did a search at the time, it turned out that there were about 5 different acts out there already releasing music called Bartek, including I think a couple of actual bands that had that name. So I thought, that name was kind of already taken, if you like, because what's really important, if you are an artist or an entity or a business or anything like that, is that you find something that is really easily recognizable so that people can find you easily. So for example, when they Google your name, you come up sort of first in the search and not like 10,000 other, search finds, and then you kind of so maybe on the like 3rd or 5th page, kind of like really at the bottom, because that way people will obviously struggle to find you. So this is what I decided to do at the time, and it seemed like a logical idea, is to use my first name and my surname together, and obviously that way people would find me. And that is actually the case. If you Google me, I think now, as you will find me there. I will be there as an artist. Now, that's all good. However, there is another question here. So because I was born in Poland, but I actually live in the UK and have been doing for quite a number of years now. I release my music in the English language, and also I sort of, aim at targeting an international audience, and that also goes together with using the English language as well. So the name, my name Bartek Piwoński, whilst it's easy for me to pronounce, and it is easy for Polish people also to pronounce, or Polish speakers, it isn't as easy, to pronounce properly sometimes by English speaking people and other, nationalities or other people who speak different languages and they do not speak Polish, for example. So based on that fact, the question for me is, because I'm currently writing the second album and I will be releasing that album fairly soon, probably within the next few months, and the work has been sort of going on in the background. And the question is, should I carry on, releasing these records, my solo records, under my own name as I have been doing so far, or should I perhaps actually I go for a stage name that will be sort of easy on the tongue, easy for sort of English speakers, for example, to pronounce, to say, perhaps maybe like a single word that will be sort of very easy and quickly recognizable. So that's the key question that has been sort of playing on my mind for a little while, and I actually hope that you might be able to help me out with this. And if you could leave me a comment to actually say either is it a good idea or isn't it a good idea, and secondly, do you have any suggestions or ideas about a good stage name? So I will welcome all those comments if you would like to write them. I've actually looked into what artists out there use stage names versus which ones don't, and I've got a couple of examples for you. So for example, Nicki Minaj, her original or birth name is Onika Tanya Marash. Alicia Keys was born as Alicia Ogelo Cook. Bruno Mars was born as Peter Jean Hernandez. Lana Del Rey was born as Elizabeth Grant. Charlie Sheen was born as Carlos Erwin Estevez. I think this is one of the most famous ones, and probably all of you or most of you will know this, but Marilyn Monroe was actually born as Norma Jean Mortenson. Ringo Starr, born as Richard Starkey. Katy Perry, born Catherine Elizabeth Hudson. Freddie Mercury, born Farrokh Bulsara. David Bowie, born David Robert Jones. Jackie Chan, born Chan Kong Sang. Stevie Wonder, born Steveland Hardaway Judkins. Elton John, born Reginald Kenneth Dwight. Steven Tyler, born Steven Tallarico. Axl Rose, born William Bruce Rose Jr. Shania Twain, born Eileen Regina Edwards. Tina Turner, born Anna May Bullock. Jane Seymour, born Joyce Penelope Wilhelmina Frankenberg. Chevy Chase, born Cornelius Crane Chase. Bob Dylan, born Robert Allen Zimmerman. Bruce Lee, born Lee Yuen Kam. And you can see how some of these people, especially who weren't born, for example, people who emigrated, say, to America, and they weren't born there, and they had like sort of foreign names, foreign sounding names in an English-speaking country. Some of them actually sort of used the sort of English names like Bruce, Bruce Lee. Gene Simmons, born Chaim Klein Witz. Sting, obviously having this sort of one word stage name, was actually born as Gordon Matthew Thomas Sumner. Then of course we've got the other examples of people who actually continued to use their real names, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, for example, who obviously emigrated from Austria to America, and he carried on, even though I think in his first film he was kind of called Arnold Strong. He then further into his career, he actually carried on using his real name, and then everybody just adapted to that. And then you've got people who have like longer names or multiple names and just kind of shortened it to like two names, like Carlos Santana, for example, whose like full name is Carlos Humberto Santana Barragan. So you can see that different people have done different things. But like in Sting's example, would he be as recognized or recognizable if he actually used his full real name? So this is the question for me to obviously answer for myself, but I would really appreciate your help here. So if you've got any suggestions, or you can tell me what you think about me continuing using my real name, Bartek Piwoński, or changing it to some kind of a stage name that will be easier to pronounce, for example, in the English language, please let me know in the comments. I will read them all, and I will see you in my next video.